You're listening to a main feed episode. Go to patreon.com/Celtic Ligers where €5 a month gets you weekly full-length episodes, stray bonus content and access to the back catalogue. Also helps cover hosting and gives us money for sweeties. Thank you. Celtic Ligers.
Recorded 18th of June 2025.
And we're recording. Can you hear me? Can you hear me all well?
Yeah.
All right, good.
Unfortunately. And that's just a bit of the banter you can hope to expect. We're talking about, this is the King of the Celtic Ligers, King of the Hill.
We need to two things. We obviously want to talk about King of the Hill, but also remind me to talk about the Naked Gun trailer because that came out as well, and I also want to talk about that.
Okay, but you were saying that you were watching the King of the Hill trailer on Twitter, XC, everything.
On XC, everything app, and underneath it, somebody went at Grok. How do I appraise this footage?
Yeah, for some reason, the King of the Hill stuff, it's really highlighting like how bad people watch things, if you get me.
Yeah.
Like their media literacy or whatever. I'll see if I can find it. Oh yeah. Here's one comment. I think it sort of highlights it. It's like, can I say something that people might not want to hear?
Mm-hmm.
Hank is really a bad dad for a lot of the show. the way he refuses to accept Bobby for who he is or encourage Bobby's interest is super lame. And like, that guy's like, this might be a controversial opinion.
Yeah.
But Hank isn't very supportive of Bobby. I've noticed this real trend where people are like, Hank is a really good dad.
Yeah.
And a really good husband.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the show is that he's not particularly good. He tries and then sometimes he doesn't try.
I think he's complicated. You know, he's like, he's doing his best, but also he's a very rigid fella with kind of a stick up his arse. And like...
But he's also like not doing, like, sometimes he doesn't do his best.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's sitcoms.
You know what I mean?
This is TV shows. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. But like, there's this real effort I've noticed to like reframe it so that Hank is always right.
Yeah, yeah.
And then people really hate Peggy.
Yeah.
I like Peggy. I think...
Yeah, she's very funny.
I wouldn't... Yeah. And she's also like... There's a clip and Hank is like, I have a confession to make. I can't shoot straight. You know?
Yeah.
And then Peggy like... She turns around. She turns her back at him and she's like... Okay, Peggy, this is what marriage is all about. And then she turns around and she goes, I forgive you. And then Hank goes, let's just hope everyone else is so forgiving or so gracious.
Yeah,
yeah. And all the comments were like, you know, Peggy's such a bad wife, you know, and how dare she judge Hank when she doesn't even cook.
Yeah.
But like the point is that they're on the same wavelength, you know, like Hank isn't like upset that she's so weird about it.
Yeah.
He's like, of course it's going to be hard for her.
Yeah.
You know? The other thing I've noticed is that there's a real effort to like reframe Dale, and it's like that Dale knows that John Redcorn is his son's real father.
Yeah.
And that he's just torturing them.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Like the joke is so clearly that he's a conspiracy theorist, but he doesn't see what's right before him.
Yeah.
You know, like that's just so clear.
Yeah.
But they're like, no, he's like torturing them by making them sneak around. And he, you know, I do like this. I love that joke where it's just like John Redcorn doing something incredibly obvious. Like there's one where he's like sneaking in to the wife's bedroom in the middle of the night, and he's like, "I know what you're after." It's like you're after my like circular saw.
Yeah.
It's not the funniest thing, but I just love how it's so obvious and he never sees it.
Well, the joke, sometimes it comes up online, the one where it's like, Dale's wife goes like, "Honey, do you want a beer?" And then they both say yes at the same time. And then Dale goes like, "Wait a minute. How did he know I wanted a beer?"
What is the episode where John Redcorn is treating Peggy for a sore back, and Hank is like, obviously thinks they're having an affair, and he goes like, "I would never treat your wife in that way."
Yeah.
Because you're my friend. I just like it because it's very like, obviously Hank would never say anything directly.
Yeah.
He's way too anxious. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it was just like, that is how they'd handle it.
Yeah.
Just by like nearly saying it and then not saying it.
Yeah, yeah.
Such a good show.
It is, yeah. And the humor is so dry. So the shows that so Mike Judge goes on to make Silicon Valley, and
which is a good show.
But there are like bits in it where it's like it believes in the myth of the tech bros, which is these are well-meaning people who get caught up in this kind of venture capitalism frame, and there's these guys just trying to break through, you know, like. And then there was an episode as well where what's Camille Nanjiani's character in it called again?
I don't know. Camille?
He's like, he gets a Tesla and then he saves the day by putting the Tesla in turbo mode. Do you remember that? Or in what's it called? Ridiculous mode or something?
Is it called like Insano mode?
No, it's called ludicrous mode.
Right.
So he saves the day, but there's this kind of like weird, like there's a thing with Mike Judge where he's like, he believes in that, the entrepreneurial spirit, do you know?
Yeah, but there is also the thing of like, your man, the main character, he's like the only guy who really believes.
Yeah.
You know? It's not like, there's no one else in that show is like good.
Yeah. I guess there was another thing that he did. I think it was called, and also
I do like.
Yeah, go on.
I was never sure if this was a part of the joke or not, but like, you know, all this drama is happening around. It's like an algorithm that compresses stuff better than other things.
Yeah.
Isn't that what that's what Pied Piper is? I was never sure if that was supposed to be like a very meaningless thing or not. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, is it supposed to be funny that all this drama is happening over something so like, you know, functional?
I guess it was that like it meant that if it worked or if it was implemented, then like you could transfer files in like seconds, you know, like that there was, I suppose there is a bit of, I guess it just didn't feel that meaningless to me. It felt like pretty.
No. Yeah. TJ is really good in that.
Yeah. Gotta give it to him, unfortunately, there.
And then I do like your man, the assistant, the tall, skinny fella, who's like really earnest. Yeah,
he's so funny. I was about to like make an argument. I'll finish the argument that I was making, but you were right in that like Richard is the only one who believes in the thing. Everybody else is kind of out for their own ends, except maybe with the exception of Jared, who's the nice guy. But the end result is that he completely fucks everything up. They do not actually, like, they end up like being pulled in front of Congress, I believe, and there's some sort of thing that they were responsible for, but like ultimately, like, he doesn't save the world. He doesn't make some transformative piece of technology. But I do think that the show is like kind of laments that. Do you know what I mean? They're kind of like, oh, if it weren't for all these bad people, unfortunately, then there's a sort of benevolent tech worship. That's what I do think, especially with the Tesla being the kind of vehicle that saves the day. Like at that time, I do think that he would have thought Elon Musk will get us to Mars, if you ask Mike Judge.
Yeah, I think it's probably fair to say he was like a tech optimist.
Yeah.
You know, he was like, if only there weren't all these, if only the system was different, it would be really good, you know? Like, if people just get out of the way. And give people like that the money.
He also, like, this is when Alex Jones used to be kind of like an oddity around Austin. He was just like, you know, there's the phrase, keep Austin weird. He was one of the weird guys who would make documentaries and screen them in Austin, Texas. Now, Austin is like, I don't know whether, I think this is fair to say, like, I think Rogan lives in Austin now. A lot of these kind of like, you know, bro-ish sort of, like, the thing has changed quite considerably. So I think Austin is still weird. I wouldn't know. I'm not that clued into it. But just that, like, he appeared on InfoWars, Mike Judge. And
really?
Yeah, and he does a little thing. Is like, he does Hank Hill's voice. This is Hank Hill, and you are listening to Alex Jones.
Hello, this is Hank Hill, and I'm telling you what, you need to listen to Alex Jones.
And so this is before Sandy Hook, obviously. But there is that sort of like libertarian, curious kind of the guy who you should be able to do your own thing without the government fucking interfering, you know. And it is kind of portrayed in, there's a sort of affection for, which is good when it comes to King of the Hill, because it means that these characters are treated with an affection as opposed to like a derision. Yeah. But there's another show that I wanted to point out called The Good Family. Have you heard about this? Good spelled Goode. And it was...
last thing about Silicon Valley, before I move on, I like the fact that nearly every, like 90% of the technology that they're competing with is completely meaningless.
Yes.
Like it's complete gibberish. I do like that he understands that most of it is just the equivalent of like tat.
Yeah,
you know? Like it's the one that's like the app, and you can only text the word bro. That's all you can do.
And then an egghead like, as well.
It's like somehow that app is valued at like billions. Like, he understands that the value of something isn't linked to anything more than speculation.
Yeah.
You know?
He like... So that there's a character called Egghead in it who's like this complete idiot, but for some reason they think that he's a genius. Okay, Big Head. Sorry, and then they so somebody tries to poach him for their tech company, and they get him on like a massive retainer, I believe. And then what ends up happening is they realize how stupid he is, but they knew that we had to buy him so nobody else could have him. So they just put him up on like a place away from everybody else, you know, where he can't cause any harm. And so he's like, the guy is throughout the show, he's the guy who just keeps getting given money despite the fact that he's completely inept. And as a result of getting the money, everybody thinks that he's a genius. So he keeps like advancing up the ranks despite being a complete moron.
Yeah. That's like Elon Musk.
Yeah, exactly. That's great. Anyway, The Good Family, according to Wikipedia, The Good Family, this is a King of the Hill. This is Mike Judge's show that he made in 2009. It follows the life of an environmentally responsible but obsessive family. So it's like a woke family in 2009. And you see the clip of it and you're kind of like, you're suddenly seeing like, you know the affection that they have for the characters in King of the Hill despite their conservative beliefs. It's like these liberals, and it's like no affection whatsoever. Just like these fucking dickheads. They think that they're saving the world, but they're not, and they're alienating everybody.
Look who's got elephant dung. They were just giving it away at the circus.
The circus? They exploit animals and hairy ladies.
But it is for an organic garden. Being good is so hard. Oh God, it's my dad. Did he see us?
I got some grub from the Soul Shack. Man, those folks can make some colored greens.
Dad, it's collard greens.
Right, and it's collared people. Use your head, Helen. Oh, it stinks out here. I'm eating inside.
My dad is insane and ignorant and offensive. Is it so hard for him to say African American? Wait, is that what we're supposed to call them now?
I heard someone swear that it's people of color now.
Ugh, impossible. That's just colored people in reverse, and I know that's not right.
Who decides these things?
Oh, there's a big convention every year where all the minorities get together to hash these things out. Last year, they spent most of their time figuring out what to call Puff Daddy.
And so, yeah, anyway, there's just the shows that he did. And then Greg Daniels, who was also the beating heart behind King of the Hill, Greg Daniels went on to make the American version of The Office. And then off of the back of that, he made another show called Upload, which I'm always singing the praises of, despite some issues, where it's like The Good Place, but if The Good Place, you know,
was a computer,
read freaking Chomsky once, you know, something where it's like capitalism,
a
do you know what I mean? Bad
theory book, maybe.
It's kind of like
it's
so
like if
like
Red Network made a sitcom.
Yeah, exactly. Funny you should mention that. I got to get back to that in a second. This is funny. But anyhow, at the same time, Daniels has limitations where, like, Trump winning sort of pickled his brain a little bit. I think Daniels was also involved in Parks and Rec. Although I might need to double check that. Let me look it up. Greg Daniels. I know Mike Scully was involved. Simpsons fame.
I never watched Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah, what did you think? You never watched it, or like
I've seen bits of it. I really have no thoughts. Though I love Daria.
I like Daria, yeah.
But Beavis and Butthead, I don't get it.
Yeah, I don't really get it either, and I keep trying to watch it. I mean, like, as a former animator, I like watching the show visually. We loved watching the movie, you know, like I just love the way it looks. But I don't know why. I can't fucking crack it. I don't know why it's meant to be funny.
Yeah.
But anyway. But anyhow.
Mado Daria was a character in Beavis and Butthead.
Yeah.
It's a spin-off.
I know. Oh, you think I don't know? But anyway, in Upload, they have like I'm going to spoil the season now if I haven't already, which is there's a plot being carried out by rich people, and what they're trying to do is to get poorer people to basically euthanize themselves. Okay. But they're euthanizing themselves in blue districts, which means that the Republicans are going to win forever.
Wow.
Yeah. And you're just kind of... It's such a strange thing to think about, given that the tech guys were the Democrats in, like, during that era.
Yeah.
You know, during the Obama era. Like, Obama poured money into Silicon Valley. And he's responsible for creating Musk. And then they're like, oh, but if the Democrats aren't allowed to win, then good things won't happen again. You know, it'll only be bad things forever.
Like, it's mad the way Silicon Valley took off because, you know, the big financial crisis, there was a collapse in property value. And then they're just like, okay, if we're going to speculate, we're not going to speculate on property for the moment. We're just going to speculate on tech.
Yeah.
Like, it was just a redirection of the same money into tech. And you saw the exact same thing.
Yeah.
Except just sort of an infinite amount of intellectual property.
Your alarm's going off.
Yeah.
You didn't even react. Yeah, like there was another part about it as well when you think about, you know, the way that the heel turn of big tech in the past few years, and it coincides with the Silicon Bank going bust. Yeah, this idea of like, we can be benevolent tech overlords as long as there's free money forever. And then as soon as the free money goes, it's like, now we're right wing. Now we're like openly evil right wing, courting Trump, all this sort of stuff. Like, I'm not pretend to be some sort of genius expert on this. And I know for years and years and years, they were already like this. Just for some reason, they had this kind of, I don't know, progressive association. I guess because like tech is going to solve all of our problems. So the more tech, the better. And if you're against tech, you're a Luddite. And that's the only way we get out of this. Like tech was synonymous with progress for a while there, for some reason, you know? And now I think people are coming around to maybe it isn't synonymous with progress, but like some people have too much invested in it being synonymous with progress. Anyway, I digress. The point is that we're in a moment now where like King of the Hill is coming back, and looking at the shows that Mike Judge made post King of the Hill and the movies, and then looking at the shows and stuff that Greg Daniels made post King of the Hill, and then they're like, okay, we're going to bring it back. I'm like, I'm not sure about this. I don't know if I want to see the results of this. And then the trailer came out. Like, any bits that I've seen for it have been like, made me cautiously, I wouldn't say optimistic, because I still don't want the show to exist at all. But at least I'm like, at least it won't be like, you know, actually Hank voted for Kamala, you know, like, or actually Dale is, you know, QAnon's too crazy for him even. You know, that type of shit where you're like, what's going to happen now after in this world of... But the trailer did have like kind of Last Man Standing vibes, didn't it? Bobby, a beer doesn't tell a story. A beer is a beer,
yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Nowadays, Dad, beers tell stories.
Bobby, beers don't need to tell stories. They just need a fridge to keep them cold. Nobody likes a warm beer. The end.
We were making predictions about stuff that would happen.
Yeah. I thought, did we do it on the podcast? Because I thought like that Bobby would be in a polyamorous relationship where he was the only one who was monogamous. That was the one that I thought.
My prediction was that Bobby would go out with a trans woman.
Yeah. I think that's too much for them.
You think the polyamorous thing is...
No, because I there's something about it with Bobby where it's like that kind of within the world of the show, this is what they're thinking. Obviously, I don't care if he dated a transgender woman, okay? But within the show, there's a cute naivety to him being involved in something that's weird and out of Hank's comfort zone, but also not committing to it in a certain way. So the idea of like his partner having multiple partners, and then Hank is like looking at him like, does that not bother you? And he's like, I don't know, you know, date night's Tuesday. We head to the movies on Tuesday. You know what I mean? Like there's something kind of like hey, they're all a bunch of great guys. You know, like he gets on with them and they just hang out, you know?
Yeah, I think it'd be too degrading.
Really?
For Bobby.
Right.
You know? Bobby had a pride. He was never a degrading. Like, when he, you know?
Well, he's not... He wouldn't have... I didn't think it'd be prideful. He's just like... he just doesn't care. He's just confident enough in himself. He's self-assured.
He should care.
Yeah.
And then you were saying you thought Hank would vote for Kamala.
I didn't say that. I dreaded that he wouldn't. Although one of the things that they did is that Hank has been away. He's been working in Saudi Arabia for like a propane company over there, which is like, which is kind of interesting in that it like removes him from, you know, it is weird.
Like where were the minions during World War II?
Well, it's like, you know, he goes away and he comes back, which is interesting. It seems a bit out of character for Hank to leave Texas, but whatever. But it means that he is away for all of the mad shit that happened. You know?
Yeah. Like George Floyd and that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, he was. But anyway, I did find it interesting that they're like, this is going to be set, like, I think it's going to be set something like 9 or 10 years after the events of the last finale. Despite the fact that COVID clearly has happened. Do you remember in the intro?
Yeah. Yeah. Bill. Tragic case.
Yeah.
I'm Bill.
Yeah? Explain? No?
Sometimes I feel like Bill.
Stupid. Bill's stupid.
Yeah. Dale is good, obviously.
Dale's funny. R.I.P. to that voice actor.
He did?
Yeah, he died.
What the hell is going on?
Vaxxed?
Who else is there?
Luann, probably. I don't know if they killed her character in the show, but she's not appearing. And then the fucking guy who voiced John Redcorn, dead in the most horrific way possible.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Great show, anyway.
Is that enough King of the Hill talk? Do we put a pin on that? Do we reach any sort of conclusion about anything?
Ronan was complaining about the episode where we quoted The Simpsons for half an hour.
Which one?
Yeah. It's a good show, though.
Yeah.
When Marge be like, Homer.
Homer? Or like... and Bart will be like, eat my shorts.
Yeah. Eat my knickers.
Yeah. That'd be the British version of The Simpsons. Now let's imagine the British version of The Simpsons.
Oh, here we go.
And do not look up ChatGPT.
Here we go.
This is going to be fully human powered.
Bart says eat my knickers.
Yeah. Eat my knickers. And then...
Eat my skid mark.
Bart have a freaking asbo. For sure.
Yeah. Bart would be a little gurrier.
And then also...
A little chav.
Instead of going around on a skateboard, yeah. Did you already say this? You go around on a scooter? Yeah,
I already said that.
Did you?
No.
Did I miss that?
No.
Because I heard scooter and that's what prompted me to say that. But
yeah, he'd go on a scooter, he'd have a vape.
Yeah.
Homer would still drink beer.
Milhouse would have died in a knife crime related incident.
Yeah. Lisa would be normal.
Lisa would be she'd be on Navarra Media.
Yeah. Flanders.
And she'd be putting out tweets every second week apologizing for an insensitive post that she made.
Yeah. Flanders would be like a Somalian minister. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You'd be like from some Somalian evangelical church.
Well, Zainab's got one. What? Lisa's going to be... Lisa will be part of the UK garage scene.
Rather than playing... Oh yeah, that'd be good.
Rather than playing a saxophone.
Yeah. Smoke weed.
Yeah.
What would Marge be like?
Marge would be like... she would also be dead due to knife crime. She went into one of London's many no-go zones.
Yeah. The police couldn't save her.
Yeah. And the police...
And...
Chief Wiggum, what would he be like?
Somalian.
I was going to say... I'll edit this out. He'd be one of the...
If you say yes,
Well, Constable Wiggum would be taking his baton and disrupting a peaceful vigil for Sarah Everard.
Yes, okay.
Yeah. I took it a slightly different direction than what I was originally going to say.
And Maggie, instead of a soother, she'd have a vape.
Yeah. And Maggie, do you know what? She'd be one of fucking 3. And they'd be whining, being like, oh, I should have benefits. I should have my, yeah.
Maggie, there would be 3 Maggies.
Yeah. Because this is like a 2-child benefit cap. But I suppose the Simpsons already have 3 kids, so I kind of messed that up.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Forget it. That's what they'd be doing. They'd be whinging for their benefits.
Yeah. And Grandpa would be an even grimmer nursing home. Where the heating is off in the winter.
And then, do you know what they do with Grandpa? He'd die, okay? And then they would use his memory to try and create a charity that they would then themselves benefit. They would what's the word? They would embezzle a bunch of money from that charity.
Yeah.
This is a reference to Captain Tom, sorry. Because remember, Grandpa was in World War II. Remember he served in...
Oh, yeah. The Hellfish.
The Hellfish, yeah.
Do you think they'd all be Muslim?
There's only one way to find out. You crack open ChatGPT and let's find out. No, yeah, they actually. Do you know what? Scratch everything we said before. They would all be Muslim. Yeah.
Apu would be called Boss Man,
and he'd have a. Actually, he'd still have a corner shop. So yeah.
Yeah, I like the videos online of people going into bodegas in New York.
Yeah.
And they're like, "Can I have a chopped cheese?" Have you seen these?
No.
Can I have a chopped cheese the Aki way?
Yeah.
Is what they say. Is what they do be saying.
What does the guy say?
He says, bless or something.
Yeah. Did I tell you when I was in, I was leaving Belfast and I was on the bus and then these 2 guys came down from the upper saloon and they looked kind of out of it and a bit rough. Okay, I don't know how to put it, but they looked like trouble. Let me say that, okay?
Scumbags.
And then at the back of the bus, they spotted...
Scrouts.
These 2 scroats spotted a black woman wearing a hijab. And they went, "Here, you!" And I was like, "Oh!" And they go, "Salam alaikum, sister, free Palestine!" And they just hopped off the bus.
Have you been following the Ballymena stuff?
A little bit. Yeah, a little bit. I mean, it's been horrifying. But also familiar. Do you know what I mean?
But also so familiar. Yeah. So, what was it? Remember a guy assaulted a girl, raped a
2
girl.
Romanian teenagers. Yeah. Not that I think
Are they
that's...
Romanian or Roma?
Well, they said Romanian in a news article. Well, actually, sorry, it was fucking Spicebag who said they were Romanian in his article. So I should double check that.
And then the whole place just exploded.
Yeah.
And the sort of loyalist leadership came out in force to create a race riot.
Yeah.
And then it's also turned out that loads of those loyalist leaders are pedophiles.
Yeah.
6 of them.
Yeah.
Including the bannerman of the local parade.
I think the messed up thing with this stuff, you could oh, it's hypocrisy because they're all fucking rapists. They wouldn't even see a hypocrisy in it because they're like, yeah, but there are women, I just have a problem with those guys raping them. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There's also a bad thing I've seen where it's there's a story about a Filipino guy getting attacked.
And
all the comments were like, no, leave the Filipinos out of it, There's sort of implicit statement being it's fair enough to target the black flag.
Yeah.
Yeah. believe the Filipino out of him.
Yeah.
And then the guards have been stopping people on the border, crossing, checking for like illegal immigrants and stuff.
Yeah.
So there's just now like there's not free movement across the border.
Yeah.
They don't check. Like that's just done.
Yeah.
Isn't that mad?
Like, I mean, that.
You don't give a fuck.
Well, no, it's not that. It's. I'm just trying to assess it because there's like, what it is. I don't want to sound insensitive or anything, but like, it's like the same stuff that I'm used to seeing, except the temperature around it has gotten so much that like it's more volatile and it's getting worse. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
because like the Stockport riots, was it Stockport or Southport riots last year? You know, that happened all across mainland Britain and then up in the north of Ireland. Okay, represent. But anyway, you know, like it happened there, but like,
did it happen in Scotland?
Yeah, well, they happen all over the fucking place, the whole country.
The mad thing about it though is that like in England and the Republic, the Free State, what do you want to call it? Southern Ireland.
26.
The racism is couched in like liberal language a lot of the time. I mean liberal in the like historical sense, you know, like we're just looking after our community sort of thing. Whereas I feel like, you know, the loyalists, they're like not in any way liberal. They're like Presbyterian supremacists, you know? So like there's no like, you know, in like Kulak says no, it's like all about safety and, you know, it's about like, oh, we've no problem with immigrants, but like just some of them or whatever. Whereas with the loyalists, it's like they're racist against Catholics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when it comes to like someone from Romania or someone from like, you know, wherever, there's no like, oh, you gotta be careful about how we phrase it. They're just like so open about it. I think it allows the temperature to get turned up hotter because they're just like, you know, it's all no holds barred sort of stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, like, I just basically the reason I'm hesitant to offer an opinion is because like I haven't done that much reading on it and I'm a bit ignorant on all of this shit. But here's what I see, okay, is that shit just kicks off every now and again.
Yeah.
I know this is not to defend it or anything like that. And it's particularly with these...
defend it if you like.
But these like loyal... I just wanted to bring up the... fucking hell. Why can't I remember Southport or Stockport? Is it because there's another thing with Southport? So yeah, the Southport riots that happened all over the country, happened all over the UK. Like, Belfast kind of doesn't get as much of a look in, even though they also happen there. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they wouldn't be...
And in the north,
yeah,
they riot. They're so good at riot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, they're just like on it.
Yeah, but they're already... Yeah, exactly. They don't need like... It doesn't need much pushing from the loyalist groups. And then I would also say that there was like a survey that was carried out like the weekend before that had like... support for a united Ireland at its highest in like history, do you know? And I like what I see is like this obviously unionism and loyalism in this terminal decline. Okay, like it can take a fucking long time, but like what happens is people, they just kick off, they just fucking like go nuts, they start going and I'm not trying to be conspiratorial. I'm just trying to say, like you know, because I pointed you to a clip that Blind Boy said, where Blind Boy is being interviewed on Novara by Ash Sarkar, and these guys. what do you think that is responsible for what's happening in Ballymena? And he says neoliberalism, and you just kind of, and then he starts going in this clip. He was like, the housing crisis in Ireland, and I was like, this just goes to show that like you cannot do one for one the housing crisis in the south up north. It doesn't like there's not no housing crisis up north, but it's like incomparable to what's happening down south. Because
it's also like it's distinct. First of all, like, it's coming up to marching season, or maybe it is. So, like, they'd be rioting anyway.
Yes, yeah.
You know, but then the other thing is, like, the housing crisis up there. I don't know about Ballymena in particular, but like in a lot of areas, the housing crisis is manufactured in a different way, and it's manufactured to target Catholics. You know, like Catholics are still discriminated against. In certain areas, either like structurally by like the county council or whatever their version is, or loyalists will just turn up and like burn down vacant houses so they can't get used by Catholics, you know. And then like other non-Presbyterians, you know, or non-Protestant. Yeah, that analysis by Blind Boy was severely lacking.
It was interesting because like his whole thing is talking about like republicanism in the IRA. Like it's not his whole thing, but he talks about it a lot, and he's quite well versed in history. So to hear like loyalism not getting a mention and be like neoliberalism, I was kind of like, what the fuck? You know what I mean? Like, I know neoliberalism is everywhere, but like,
doesn't help. Like,
like that's what I wanted to point out with this, which is that like, we're looking at everything on the news. Oh, this happened here. This racist thing happened. This racist thing happened here. And then they go, oh my God, look what's happened in the north. It's a continuation. I was like, it is a continuation, but not of the trend that we're seeing. You know, it's more loyalism. The thing that's different is the environment around it. You know, like as in, it's like, I don't think that it's. I think it's just
like loyalists are animals.
Yeah. Like I don't know what the point. Like
there is like, like in one there are strands of continuation because you have like loyalist groups communicate with far right groups in England, and then like I think we'll probably end up talking about a Spicebag article. I think he does make a really good point in one sense where he talks about like. You're going to see a synthesis of loyalism, which is a far-right ideology at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And the far-right groups in the Republican movement, you know?
Yeah.
And, like, the Irish far-right in general.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, somehow there's going to emerge a new far-right movement that's a mixture of, like, loyalism and, like, coalesces now.
Yeah.
Like, we've seen that. We have coalesces now drinking in loyalist areas and like boys communicate with them. But then with the loyalist stuff, you'd also have this like bizarre supremacist history of their own that is really like warps it in a very different way.
I don't know why I'm trying to draw a distinction. It's just because some of the I think the reason that was on my mind is because I'm used to annually seeing shit kick off up in these loyalist hotspots.
Yeah.
And then it'd be like, oh my God, what a terrible thing, you know? And then we just forget about it again. And it just happens annually, okay? Whereas this year, the thing that's different about it is how much we've changed. Do you know what I mean? Like what you were pointing out about people like doing checks at the borders for illegal immigrants. You know, it's like how much you suddenly start to see the fact that people are getting upset about like, oh my God, this is a continuation of a trend. It was like, no, the loyalists are being the loyalists. The fact that we can see ourselves mirrored in them is very disturbing.
Yeah.
It just goes to show what has happened to us in the past few years. And I also want to mention another story. When I was back visiting my mother over the weekend, she brought up the hotel in Kinvara, which we mentioned on the show before, okay? Now, the hotel has never been for a long time has not been used as a hotel, but has been used to house migrants, okay? And it housed Syrian migrants, then Ukrainian migrants, and now they're trying to ship the Ukrainian migrants away, okay? And they're trying to turn it into an iPass center. And suddenly the locals are like, some locals are like, oh, well, actually, we've looked at this bit of legislation which says that a town's only hotel cannot be used for an iPass center, and therefore you cannot put asylum seekers into this place, okay? And you're suddenly like, what gives? Because this is something that I saw as well before, and I can't remember where. I think it was some demonstration in Wexford. It was organized by this guy who was protesting a hotel being turned into an iPass center. And I Googled him and found out that he had been a supporter of the Syrian refugees when they had come here, you know? And then in Galway as well, their Gort became a town for Brazilians. There was a huge Brazilian population in Gort that were like welcomed at the time, you know? And now we flash forward like 10 years later, and it's like, if you're a Brazilian Deliveroo driver or rider in Dublin, there are like areas you can't fucking go. Do you know what I mean? Like it's what I'm just saying, it's interesting. I don't really know what to say, which is that like, it just goes to show how concentrated an effort it's been over the past few years to turn this into an issue and to make people more racist toward migrants, you know? Like, it could be like, oh yeah, but that's also how bad things have gotten over the years. But it's like, it was pretty bad when the Syrian refugee crisis was happening, but people were still, in large part, like, you can point to a lot of examples where smaller communities were welcoming brown migrants into areas, you know?
Yeah.
And now that just isn't happening. It's just across the fucking board. It's like, no, they're different to us. We can't accept them. We can accept the Ukrainians, but we can't accept the, you know, I don't know, fucking Afghans. Sorry, I got that right. Wrong, right. Afghanis or Afghans?
I don't know.
Which is the one that's a rug? An Afghan is a rug, isn't it? So Afghanis.
Afghanistanian.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, I feel like it's really, like, foot on the pedal over the last year. Like, it was building for a long while, but, like, it's, over the past year, it's like, fucking hell. The march has gotten really big.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah. It's...
like, the one you were at, I remember last year, a few months on the pod, a few months ago, you were talking about one down in Cork, and it was like, suddenly there were as many protesters as there were counter-protesters.
Yeah.
You know, and that was like a real moment of like, oh, suddenly there's like plenty of them.
Yeah.
And now that's the norm.
Yeah. And like, yeah, because, you know, during COVID, there might be like a handful of cranks with Trump flags who'd show up somewhere, but they would always be outnumbered by whatever other demonstration was happening.
Yeah.
And now, yeah, their numbers are growing, and I don't know what to say. I mean, I don't know. It's just
and
depressing and grim.
And policy as well, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
yeah.
The government are responding to this. Like, even the government gave in, and now there's not going to be a iPad centre in Coolock.
Yeah.
So like they won.
Yeah. And the framing of it on all of these shows as well, when they invite people on, is always very generous to the racist or reactionary element, you know?
Yeah.
And it's not interested in, I mentioned that podcast, you know, with the guy who's in East Wall, who's a part of anti-fascist movements, and how do we combat this stuff? And unfortunately, sometimes you have to hear people out, even if you might find their opinions objectionable. But then when they have it on, they say that when they do the same thing on mainstream outlets, that's not what's happening. You know, the effort isn't to try and dissuade somebody from this opinion. It's to be, oh, let's hear them out and give their voice airtime, and then not really even challenge them on any of this stuff. And these are just the two different sides of the argument. And, you know, like they're presented with equal legitimacy is what I'm saying, as opposed to like, no, a foreigner isn't just going to stand outside your window looking in. this isn't justifiable position. Like, I don't know.
Yeah.
And then the government are doing things where you're like, I mean, when are they not doing things like this? But things that are only going to exacerbate the situation and make everything worse. Anyway, I don't know.
I just got an email from Revenue. So
I got
reading that.
I have an email from Revenue, which I haven't been able to access because I forgot my password.
I think this is a good one, though. I might be getting a tax refund.
I hope I get a fucking tax refund. Maybe I need to check. I need to call them. I need to call them now that I'm down south. I hope you get a tax refund because you're my friend and I wish only good things for you.
My job was taxing me at 40%. For like a year. He's like, why am I so broke? So, hopefully now I'll be flush.
I wish that accountants were free. And I think they should be free. I
wish Revenue would die.
Like, maybe I've said this a million times before, and I'm going to say 1,000,001. This idea of going like, okay, we're all going to kick in a bit of money so that we all get some services. All right, cool. And you'll do it this time a year. All right, cool. How much do I owe you? Not my problem. You figure it out. And if you don't figure it out, you're going to jail. Okay? Or we're going to take like a shitload of money off of you. And it's like, this sucks, man. Can we like shave off a bit of the money that I'm going to give you and use it to pay somebody else so that they can help me give you the money? Because I'm being cooperative here. I want to give you the money, but I'm like, like I don't want to go to some accountant to get fucking shafted for a bunch of money. Okay?
Yeah.
And I mentally cannot do what you're asking me to do. And it's like, oh no, but this is just a bit of simple sums. It's simple. I know, but I can't fucking do it. I'm sorry, but I can't. I don't know how to tell you this.
Yeah.
Anyway.
I know.
It's just
like, please don't make me think too much.
It's not even about thinking. It's just like, somebody's dyslexic and you're like, yeah, it's just a simple bit of reading. It's like, it's not simple to me. Okay, I can't do it. So I don't know what to tell you. Do you know? It's just a simple bit of astrophysics. Might as well be that. We didn't talk about the Naked Gun trailer. It was shit. Done.
Like, what the hell is PAYE? Like, what is that?
Pay as
what's
you earn.
PRSI? What's PRSI?
Service.
Pay related to social insurance?
Yeah, thank you.
Is it?
Yeah. How did you know that?
I just guessed that.
Really?
I just guessed.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Alright, whatever. Can't do it. Don't make me think about it. I am thinking of ending it all. I am thinking of ending it all just because I can't handle it.
Dude, you can, man.
I hate it. I hate it all. The good isn't good enough. The bad is too bad. I can't.
What's the good? Tell me about the good.
You're right. There is no good. Time to.
Man, I'd be so upset if you ended it up.
Okay, fine. Thank you. I guess I'll. Who's being selfish now? Okay. I got to stick around and have a miserable time just because it'll affect you.
That's what it takes, man. You can blame me.
Yeah.
Your parents would miss you.
Yeah, my mum listens to the podcast, so she'll be like, "Don't do it." And I'm like, "Oh, I won't." Wink.
Imagine if you did it because, like, it's like, why did you do it? Oh, because he couldn't work out his income tax.
Yeah, and then the people who get it, and the people who don't, well, I don't care because I'm dead. It's not that. It's just the one other thing. It's just the one other thing, isn't it?
Now, there are so many things. Like, that's part of why... That's really the main reason I'd love to be rich. It's not, like, to have loads of good stuff. It's just to, like, have the... So, I'd love to have someone to sort out the things.
Oh, my fucking God. Wouldn't you? Wouldn't you just?
Like, imagine if you just had like a famine cottage,
Yeah.
but it was sort of shitty. But there was a guy who just sorted out all the things,
Yeah.
you know? And that was that. That was it. Like, you didn't have to think about it.
Yeah.
That'd be wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Like, every day a lot of turf turns up. You don't even have to think about it.
Yeah.
The bins.
I know. And you know, I get mad at, like, I heard about this about Al Pacino, that Al Pacino is seriously in debt, okay? And you're like, what the fuck? How is he in debt? No, God, older actors are really... He spent $80,000 a month on wine. And you're just thinking, like, it's fucking wasted on you, man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you gave me how much you spent on fucking wine, I could live for 2 years as a king, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's so maddening. It's so maddening.
Yeah, it really is.
What else we got here? What else? I have some funny
my
stories.
socialist reading group starts next week.
Oh yeah, great.
So
And I'm not able to go, obviously, because it's not hybrid. So
yeah,
suppose I could just go up to Dublin.
but also like hybrid stuff. So
It sucks. But it was funny
so
to
I just
have to
wanna-
hear about the reading group the exact same time that the listeners were hearing about the reading group. That was the first time I heard about it.
on the pod. Was it? Did I not tell you about it?
Maybe you did.
Apart from that,
I didn't know that you were setting it up. I thought you were just taking part in it.
it's called Saints and Scholars.
Yeah.
And the reading lists were sent out today,
Okay.
and you can find them. You can either sign up and get them emailed to you, or you can go to saintsandscholars.club.
Cool. .club.
And,
Is that free?
.club. I'm not sure.
How did you get that?
So the first one, I didn't. Someone else did.
Oh.
The verse. There's a strand on militarism and neutrality. So the first reading group is about Irish neutrality. Then there's one on the environment and capitalism. And the first one is about the food sovereignty. And then there's one on care and community. And the first one is about the family. And then there's also a film club where they're watching Bamboozled by Spike Lee.
Yeah, I'm looking at that now. I didn't know. I never heard of that movie.
Nor have I.
I don't really like Spike Lee.
Yeah. So we mentioned the Spicebag article.
Yeah. There's not really much to it. It's kind of just the same shit that he normally says, except...
We run through it, or what do you think?
Yeah, I don't mind. I got a few things here.
I thought... Let's do that. I thought it would be interesting because it sort of feeds into a bit of a larger discussion about the left that's going on at the minute.
Yeah. Did you know, and we have this article as well, Pat Leahy is also weighed in on Red Network. So...
Yes.
But
Pat Freaky. Getting freaky.
Pat
with
Leahy.
Red Network.
And I'm not talking about Pat Leahy, I think he's a congressman? No, he's senator in the United States who has appeared in every Batman movie.
What, if, what do you call a centrist ghoul who's also a pop singer? What would he say?
Oh, he's
A
yeah,
right-wing ghoul.
Pat Leahy. Is that it?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's good.
You
Also,
know earlier, and it was like,
yeah,
it's a bit messed up. It was, you said, what would you call a transgender?
I didn't say that. No, I didn't.
Right-wing ghoul.
No, I didn't. Patch.
I didn't know.
Yeah, that's good. What was it? The other thing that just very, very quickly, we're not going to talk about this fucking dickhead again, but because we're talking about Spicebag, fucking Mick Clifford actually wrote an article about how we need to reclaim the tricolour.
Yes.
And I felt really vindicated. I was like, all these people who are going like, no, this is what we need to do. And I was like, he said it. That fucking dickhead said it. You believe the thing that dickhead says.
Well, a lot of our listeners, you know.
You believe the thing that dickhead said?
Yeah.
Those listeners. Mick's article, though, you read it.
Listeners.
I'll just abbreviate the article. The Provos are bad. Maybe we should reclaim the flag. Shrug. That's all he says.
We should reclaim it from the Provos.
No, he didn't say we should reclaim it from the Provos. He was saying that the flag had been made toxic by the Provos before being claimed by the World Cup in the 90s. And then now it was being toxified again, and that maybe it'd be nice to have it back. And I swear to God, he literally says, maybe it would be nice. Let me just read the last line.
I mean, in fairness, that is my position, you know?
What?
It's like, maybe it would be nice to have it back. Like, that's the level I care.
That's the end of the free bit. Go to patreon.com/CelticLigers to get the rest. Thanks.